What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? Shoebooty Sports coming at you Tuesday evening. I'm your host, Graham Powell, on this screen. That's Bradley Brown over there in the swag hat. Reminds me a little bit of the Gilligan's Island hat that the whatever guy had. Do you know what I'm talking about? Not
No
Gilligan.
idea.
The guy in the blue shirt, say, I don't know, captain, some, I don't know.
Skipper?
Skipper, there you go. It's only
Yeah.
been, I don't know, 30 years since I've seen Gilligan's Island. Maybe not quite that long, but probably pretty close. But anyway, yeah, cool hat either way. I'm rocking my Grizzlies hat just because we have conference finals starting tonight. Of course, the Grizzlies aren't in it, but it's the only NBA hat that I have. Anyway, before we get going, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoebooty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Uh, you said that you had just gotten back from walking your dog. This is a little bit non-sports related. We're starting the show off with. I did my first ever cryogenic, full body cryogenic session today, about an hour and a half ago, if even that. You're making a
What was
face.
that like? 'Cause I have no idea what all that entails.
So you just go into this standing, almost tanning bed looking thing, except it's not a tanning bed. It fully closes and it blasts negative like 230 or 260 degrees on you for 3 straight minutes.
It's like a
And
dry ice bath.
maybe it's just, well, it just feels really, really, really cold air blasting you for 3 full minutes. And it's the longest 3 minutes of your life, but it's it's not unbearable. It's very cold, but it's not unbearable. Like taking an ice bath is way colder.
Mhm.
But I mean, this is just straight cold blast on you for 3 full minutes. Yeah, I'm having a lot of issues. I got plantar fasciitis. My knee is hurting on my other leg. So I walked in just with some problems, and I've got a trail race, a 12-ish mile trail race this weekend. And then I've got a pacing gig in Memphis next weekend and a double pacing gig the weekend after that. Oh, and I resume like my race schedule the weekend after that. So I've got to keep it together. And I'd heard this might work. I had a free session. It's 5 minutes up the road from my house. So I go in, I do this. It took no time. I signed a waiver. I go in, do that for 3 minutes. I walk out. Nothing hurts. Nothing is
Yeah,
hurt.
because it's numb.
But dude, I mean, it felt like night and day difference. I mean, I bought my dad a session while I was there. I said, because he has a lot of just pain issues. I said, let me go ahead and buy a session now for him because he won't use it if I just tell him about it. Like,
Yeah.
just let me buy a session and I'll go. I went and he's out of town. I went and put the card on his kitchen table. Like, this is a free session. Go use it. It works. I'm still feeling good. So this is something that's affordable. So I'm going to be doing this like once a week. Like once a week, I will be in there getting cryoed. It was awesome. I highly recommend it if you're having body aches,
Yeah.
pains,
You wear
whatever.
shorts or no shorts?
Just underwear, just in your underwear. Now I wore these little what looked like swimming shoes, but they're much thinner. It's more like a sock than a swimming shoe. But it's that kind of texture. You put it on. He said, wear this if you're having plantar fasciitis issues. I don't. He didn't really explain why. He just said it's good for that. And then you wear these like winter mittens, like these real thick mittens, because the only thing that is out of it is your head. So I mean, your head is sticking out. That's it. The rest is in there getting blasted. So you're essentially naked, getting blasted with negative 200 plus degree cold.
I bet you look pretty cool though.
Maybe I don't. I wouldn't. Couldn't tell you. I did look over. Like I said, it's a very long 3 minutes. I looked over. There's a little screen on each side. I mean, you got to turn a little bit, but it tells you how far into the completion you percentage you are up to 100. And I was at 67. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I still have 30, what, 33% to go. And
Be like a minute. You said it was 3 minutes.
well, at that time it was two. It
Hmm.
was I was 2 minutes in. But I mean, it's yeah, it's very cold, but it was worth it. Like I said, I'm going to do it again. I'll be back probably once a week. That was huge. It felt great. So definitely shout out to, I believe it's Refresh Wellness in Cabot. Yeah, I'll see you guys again next week, most likely. All right, so let's talk about some sports since we do have that going on. Have you seen the headline on the bottom of ESPN's page?
Probably not, but does it have anything to do with Arkansas basketball?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Arkansas's Boogie Fland is joining the reigning champion, Florida Gators. So, yeah.
Does he actually play for him though? I mean, if he gets picked first round, he's gonna go. Or early second, you would think he's
I don't think he's getting picked that high. Maybe if he had a full season and was healthy, maybe. No, I think he's going to just play another year in college while healthy, and for the reigning champions. I because Arkansas's backcourt at point guard is stacked. There's it's too crowded. I can understand why he transferred.
yeah.
Arkansas has a top 100 point guard recruit coming in on top of DJ Wagner, who's returning to play the point and looked really good at the point. It was nice having Boogie Flan when he came back, but it's a crowded backcourt. It's not enough room for everybody. You only need five out there at a time. So I was fine with the move. I think I think he's fine. I like the move from him. I would transfer too if I were him. It's a crowded backcourt. So, but yeah, I mean, to Florida, I mean, I don't
It's a
know if
heck
they're
of a
going to be.
destination, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, their top player was their point guard, right? And he's
yeah.
obviously going to go pro, I would think. So that opens up a spot. And Boogie Flan's a really talented player. So, I mean, good for him. I'm not going to be rooting for him next season, but good for him, I suppose. But anyway, I saw that a couple of minutes before I hit the record button. So just wanted to touch up on that. In other news, the NFL players, they voted on whether or not their players um, could play or could compete in the 2028 Olympic Games for flag football. And that got okayed today. NFL players will be allowed to play flag football in the Olympic Games.
Well, the players didn't vote on it. The owners did, right?
It wasn't the players; it was the Players Association. Maybe I don't know. I don't know who votes on that. Maybe it's the. I'm sure the owners have a say in it.
Yeah.
Maybe, but how much? I don't know. But either way, they got okay to play in the 2028 Olympic Games. So, but
Man.
flag football is very different from pro football. There's you just really got to be quick, agile, and be able to avoid tacklers, which a lot of guys in the NFL can do that. Um,
Yeah.
but you're not going to be in pads. You don't have to hit anybody. It's pulling a flag. But it is fun to think about. Patrick Mahomes throwing to Tyreek Hill again and Jamar Chase and that crew, or I don't know. It's a lot of possibilities to think about. Um,
Yeah.
it's combinations to go over in your head. But
I mean, that's if Mahomes gets the starting job. I mean, Team USA's starting QB. I mean, apparently he's pretty good. And of course, he believes he's better than Mahomes at flag football just solely because he understands the rules more than Mahomes because he has to. So
Yeah, it's probably the same transition as USA basketball and Olympic, going to the
yeah,
Olympic style basketball.
it
Uh,
is, these are the only two things that are different. Let's get.
yes, but it is different because you're still playing the same game essentially from NBA basketball to Olympic basketball. It's essentially kind of the same thing, just expanded uh, free throw um, free throw lane or the drawing a blank. Um, um, you know what I'm saying. Either way, somebody can
Do I?
correct. Huh?
Said, do I? Do I know what you're saying?
I don't know. The rectangular box inside the free throw line, where players line up, and it's more of a long trapezoid in Olympic style basketball. Either way, we look like idiots talking sports on this segment of it. We won't edit it out though because
No.
um, one, we're fair, but also we're lazy, so we're not going to be doing that. But yeah, still pretty cool that NFL players are going to get to play flag football. I guess. I mean, we'll see how it goes one way or another in almost 3 years.
I'm interested to see these other countries, how good they are and how bad they are at the same time. Like I'm ready to see the full spectrum, but I also anticipate uh, not I wouldn't say an easy gold medal for USA, but surely we're a shoe in. It's
I
like,
would say it's an easy gold medal. I think it's going to be like the '92 Olympics when it came to basketball. The rest of the world hasn't caught up yet, but now the rest of the world will start playing this. NFL is completely behind this. Like
oh, of course they are.
I knew this was going to get okayed because Roger
Star
Goodell
power.
wants this. Well, he wants this. He wants the game to become global because there's a reason they're going and playing in Europe, all over Europe. What didn't they play in Brazil?
Playing in Brazil, playing in Germany, playing in London.
Yeah,
They're playing
they're
at two new sites this upcoming year. So yeah,
so get your best players on the Olympic stage and to showcase to the world to garner interest or bring in that much more interest from the world. And of course, the USA will route. They will route for the next few Olympics, but the rest of the world will eventually catch up, and it'll be more competitive. At
so what
least
we're
in
saying,
flag.
like by like 2050, the world's going to catch up to us. Give us a good 20, 25 years.
I don't know if it'll take that long, but it's going to take a few Olympics before it's even remotely competitive. I think, just because I mean the rest of the world doesn't know the game. Their big sport is soccer, not football. Well, it's
It
football,
is football,
yeah,
but
a different kind. But the rest of the world will start participating in this, and I mean it's great. I think it's great for the NFL. Of course, it is. It's great for the game itself to become global. But it is our game, and the rest of the world's going to have to play catch up, and that's going to take a while before they can do that. But they will get there. It's just going to take time. Flag football, that is. But that may develop into full contact for many, and probably will, I imagine so.
yeah.
Because apparently those NFL games over in Europe are wild, are a lot of fun. One guy showed it
Oh,
was like, go ahead.
no, I was going to say they look pretty wild. It's definitely on my bucket list to do one day. I will definitely be rooting for whatever home team I attend. That's for sure.
What are we talking about?
You said football, right?
Yeah,
European football?
no, I said an NFL game in Europe. I said
Oh
that.
yeah, I mean it's the same stadium. I mean it's massive stadiums that you're filling, so of course it's going to be a great atmosphere to be at.
Yeah, but the fans are, I mean, are I don't know if they're soccer rowdy, but they have a good time. I mean, they have a
Yeah,
certain style of gathering and cheering, which is pretty entertaining. So yeah, I don't remember who played. It was like Jacksonville and uh, Buffalo, maybe, or just some other team, random team played over in Germany, and a guy just grabbed a Duke Blue Devils helmet and wore it at the game. He's like, "Here's a football helmet, I'm into this type of thing." Like it had nothing to do with the teams out there playing, but they didn't care. It's football, and I'm celebrating it, and that's pretty cool that they did that. So interesting, nonetheless. I think it's great, and if I mean, it is. If you're thinking long term and expanding the game, of course, it's great.
Yeah. More money
Uh,
for everybody in the NFL.
yes. Where did Ashton Jeanty jump into stay in the NFL, but jump into the draft a little bit? Where did Ashton Jeanty get drafted to?
The Raiders to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Poor guy. Yeah, it says the another headline: Raiders OC wants Ashton Jeanty to ditch Michael Myers stance. I like that. That's what it's called, Michael Myers
Yeah.
stance. He has
Me-
started a trend with that. I mean, he has college players and kids now are lining up like that, just standing straight up. I don't get it. I don't see how you could be. That would be like to me the equivalent of playing infield, standing straight up. Maybe not quite the equivalent, but kind of the same. The only argument I could think for it would be if you can see the defense better. Maybe has he given explanation? I'm sure he has why he does that. We just don't know what it is.
No, we just don't know. I don't even think he's given an explanation. He just said that he has his reasons.
Okay, well, he's giving it to somebody. We just don't know what it is. But either way, the Raiders OC is apparently like, I don't want to do this anymore, or I don't want to do this. Uh, it's just natural to want to get down in that hands on your quads.
You got to get leverage. I mean, you got to get
Yeah,
ready to go.
yeah.
Like,
It's like you're gearing up to run, not stand straight up and then okay, time to move. Yeah, I don't understand it. It worked for him just fine at Boise State, but NFL is a different game. I can understand wanting to change that up.
yeah,
Just like the name and the headline said Halloween stance, but then I clicked on the article. It's Michael Myers stance. So I like that comparison. Pretty good. All
definitely
right.
know it's very descriptive. So,
Yes. Yes. All right. You want to talk a little college baseball before we move on to NBA stuff? How about those
sure.
Hogs, by the way?
Yeah, getting the series dub, not exactly how I saw it playing out. I saw us winning the
Yeah.
first two and losing the last one. Um, but it was kind of the opposite. We lost the first one and won the last two. So,
Good
pretty,
games. Like all three
yeah,
games, good
entertaining
games.
games. Yeah. So, but yeah, pretty much locked in our top 8 spot national ranking. We'll see how the conference tournament settles out over this week. So, I think it starts up what tomorrow?
It's no, I think it started
Today.
today, this
Today.
morning. Of course, the lower seeds. Isn't Arkansas the 2 seed?
2 seed. Yep.
Yeah, so they've got as big of a bye as you can possibly get. Those top 4 seeds get that. And I think there's a good chance they'll even see Tennessee again, maybe in that side of the bracket. I haven't looked at it. But I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the SEC tournament. Is it double elimination?
Yes. And I think they'll get the chance to see LSU before Tennessee. 'Cause I think Tennessee's 4 seed and Texas is first seed.
Well, yeah. Well, who's the? Wow, that's right. It's kind of funny. LSU's the number one team in the country, and they're
Yeah.
what the 3 seed or 4 seed?
Uh, yeah, 3 seed.
Okay, all right. That's just how stacked the conference is. But it was good to see Arkansas get the series win against Tennessee, close the regular season on a high note, going into the SEC tournament. Uh, Do you put in, does it matter to you at all how Arkansas does in the SEC tournament
No,
during the regionals?
nope.
I would like to see them win a couple of games.
Yeah, I want them to show up.
I'd like to see them win the whole thing,
Yeah,
but that's not the one that matters. It's the next round that matters.
yep.
So I would rather them show out in regionals than the SEC tournament. But either way, I'd like to see them do well just to feel better about going into the regional tournament. But yeah, shout out to our Hogs on a strong finish to the regular season. Shout out to the Hogs as well, advancing to the super regionals. Uh, Very exciting showings at Bogle Park in the regionals. The last two against Oklahoma State had a major, big time comeback win, and the first time they beat them, had came back from like 5 runs down, beat Oklahoma State in extra innings, and then just smoked Oklahoma State
Yeah.
in the deciding game. 12-0, I believe it was, and they are once again hosting a regional game, but in the super regionals, they will take on Ole Miss, who upset Arizona. I caught a little bit of that game, um, that deciding game, a couple, and might have been last night or a couple nights ago, I think. So yeah, shout out to Courtney Deifel and um, yeah, the softball Hogs there. I want to say Diamond Hogs, but I mean that's the baseball team. So
Yeah.
the Bogle Babes, just some kind of name that'll catch on. Oh, speaking of Bree Ellis, officially the Player of the Year, the National
Oh, it's
Player of the
official.
Year. It's official. I heard that. I was told that on the way home today. So very deserving, best player in the country. So shout out Bree Ellis there. Arkansas, the Diamond Hogs on both the softball and baseball fields are just absolutely killing it. SEC men's team won the outdoor track championship. I watched some of that Saturday. That's wild. See, I run a lot of road races. I'm actually doing a trail race this weekend, my second ever trail race. I do look forward to that. But I don't know how you you do like 60 up to 65 runners on a track in that setting, that level of elite competition. They were trampling over each other in both the men's and women's events. Like it's wild. A guy who came in second for Arkansas who fell, got trampled, had cleat holes in the back of his jersey, and then blood running down his head. Finishing the 5K, I believe it was the 5K. Um, yeah, the 5,000 meter race, crazy. There was a big, or the Arkansas's best runner in the 10K fell down, got tripped up over a Texas runner, and it wasn't as bad. One guy couldn't finish the race. I want to say he was from Kentucky, who hosted the event. I mean, just got completely trampled in this massive pileup. I mean, it's like seeing bikes wreck, on a road race for cycling. It was the same ordeal, just for runners. But it was entertaining to watch. Yeah, I like watching track and field events though. It's at least at that level. It's entertaining to me. Is that something you'd have any interest in at all?
I mean, whenever it comes on the Olympics, I'll watch it just because it's high level athletes. But yeah, it just amazes me that they can, run that far or run for that long at that speed. So
Yeah, and as great as the women were in like the 5K and 10K, I mean their times were ridiculous. You see the men get out there after that, and you're like, God, and they're moving so much faster. Like the women were like moving wildly fast, and then the men at that level coming out and then just going even faster. Crazy to watch. I'm fascinated by that. I I do like the idea of having like one ordinary person out there running along with them, just so you can see how fast it is. Like I'm above average speed for a 40-year-old male, and they would all smoke me. They would all torch me. it would be
Uh,
funny to see me trying to keep up with them. Like they'd all blow me away, and it doesn't do it justice watching it on TV how fast they move. Okay, so lots of love for our Razorback sports teams. Let's move on.
you even gonna mention it? Big shout out to national champion uh, Maria Marine, I think is how you say her last name. Won the
Golf, right?
women's NC, huh? Yeah, won the NCAA individual golf championship yesterday. Shot -12 over 4 days. Uh, yeah, and she was on fire, man. I watched her last 6 or 7 holes play out yesterday after work, so I didn't even know it was on. Was just flipping through. It was pretty entertaining. So, but yeah, she joined Stacy Lewis and Maria. I forget her last name. A couple of years ago, as the only women individual champions from Arkansas.
Okay, yeah, I did see that. Completely slipped my mind, so I'm glad you touched up on it. Also, Scottie Scheffler, I believe, won his third major over the weekend, right?
Yeah, he pretty much won it on Saturday. It was kind of a snooze fest on Sunday. It was all set up to be fireworks on Sunday. You had the big names in the mix. You had DeChambeau, Rahm was in the mix, and then of course Scotty. And yeah, everybody just kind of faltered off, and Scotty was Scotty, but he faltered a little bit, but made it up at the end.
Okay, I mean he's been the best player in the world now for how long?
Going on 3 years,
It's
so
been a while.
he's
Um,
won 3 majors before the age of 27 or 28. And the only other people to do that in the modern era, of course, Nicholas and Woods. So he's got some pretty good company he's joining. So um, if only the live didn't exist and he was playing all the best players week in and week out. That's the only thing I wish would happen.
okay.
Because you can kind of steal some of his thunder with these when he gets compared to Nicholas and Woods. It's like that's the only kind of jab you can give to him. It's like, well, you got these other guys playing every weekend in another league, so that he's
All
not
right.
playing again.
All right. Well, there's our golf update for the week. Woo Pig and Scotty Scheffler is still great. So, big time stuff there per the always for our golf update on the show. Going back to basketball, I was trying to think of the word lane earlier when describing the foul area. So that's how you get on here and you click record. Sometimes I don't know, you just forget dumb things. Like if you're just listening, you're like that this is the word pops into your head immediately. But when there's a microphone in front of your face, it doesn't always want to come to your brain until afterward when it doesn't matter anymore. It's like when you it's like when you get in a confrontation with somebody and you're like roasting each other and then you leave or you're like in the shower, you're on your way home, you're like you think of something 1,000 times better that you should have said. It's similar to that,
Full Costanza.
pretty much. Okay, let's talk NBA playoffs. We got the conference finals coming up. No matter what, we're going to get a new NBA champion. That's pretty cool to me. We got Oklahoma City and Minnesota playing tonight. We got the Pacers and Knicks playing. Uh, I believe it's tomorrow night. So we're going to close the show with just nothing but basketball talk. It's um, I like this. I believe I heard a stat. We're going to get the seventh different NBA champion in the last 7 years, which has never been done before.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
great. Yeah,
Yeah, I do like that. Shows the amount of parity that's in the league. It wasn't that long ago that Oklahoma City was at the bottom of the league just because of Durant leaving, uh, them trading them trading Westbrook, but getting and several other pieces, but getting a lot of picks in return. And this just shows how smart the front office is in Oklahoma City. They've rebuilt that into the most talented team in the league, and they've been that all year. They kind of were that last year, but you knew they how young they were, and you're like, these guys aren't ready yet for a championship. They showed out against Denver. I, of course, picked Denver to win in seven. You picked Oklahoma City to win in seven. And Oklahoma City won game seven with a few exclamation points on it. I mean, looked phenomenal in the third quarter on. I blinked and they were at 40 or close to it.
Well, it didn't help Denver that Gordon was out, right?
Of course. Um, yeah, Aaron Gordon was out. Michael Porter Jr. wasn't healthy. They had a lot of things going wrong for them. But so what? I mean, it's the end
Yeah.
of the season. Injuries are going to happen. It's what it is. That's why you build depth. That's why the Denver GM got fired. Essentially, is because you had a championship lineup, but you didn't have but the role players weren't up. I mean, they didn't match. They were subpar compared to what it should be for an NBA champion. At least that's how a lot of people feel about it, and that's why the GM isn't there. Michael Malone also gone. It's what it is, and we saw that with guys like Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. banged up. I mean, the bench just couldn't hang. Oklahoma City, talented guys coming off the bench, and that's why you see what you see with them in part because they have a really talented core as well. Um, but let's go ahead and pick the series while we're here. Um, Starting tonight, Oklahoma City, Minnesota. Who are we picking tonight and to win the series? Oklahoma City is at home.
Uh, I don't know, man. This one could be tricky for the first game. I see the Thunder taking the series, but I mean the Timberwolves have gotten quite a bit of rest uh compared to OKC, so they could take the first game, but I mean OKC has the home court advantage. I'll go ahead and give them the nod for tonight's game. But I
Oklahoma
could,
City
yeah,
in how
I
many
did.
games?
Hmm.
How many games?
I do see this one going the distance. I see it going 7 games.
Seven? Wow.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm going to go a whopping six. I mean, I'm going to say OKC in six. I like Minnesota's chances, but I mean, Ant's got to have a phenomenal game. Gobert's got to he's got to play. He's got to give about as many problems as Jokic did for the Thunder, which was a terrible matchup for the Thunder. But that's not going to happen. But he can have really good nights. I'll say Oklahoma City in six, and you know what? I'll even say Minnesota. I'll even say Minnesota takes this game tonight. I'm hesitant, but I think they could split there at
Yeah.
Oklahoma City, or at least they'll split, I think, in Minnesota. But I'll say they'll win game one tonight. I'll go out on a limb. If it sounds like I'm coming up with that prediction off the fly, it's because I am. But I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota takes game one tonight and the rest of which can actually work against you. Oklahoma City may be a little more sharp out of the gate just because they've been battle tested within the last couple of or 2 or 3 days. So we'll see what happens. But I got Oklahoma City winning the series, but I'll say Minnesota wins tonight. In the other NBA or the in the Eastern Conference Finals matchup, Pacers or Knicks, one of these two teams are going to vie for the NBA title. Who we
I
got?
mean,
This is a toss up to me.
it is a toss up. I know who I want to win just because I think it'd be funny just to see the aftermath. I want the Knicks to just and just see if the city survives them winning the series. Um, but yeah, this one is a toss up. I don't know, man. Um, I want the Knicks to win. I can see I'm going to pick the Pacers.
I mean, they looked really good against the Cavs. I get it. I like Indiana. They're really well coached. Rick Carlisle, 1973, the last NBA championship for the Knicks, by the way. It just seems too weird to say the Knicks in the NBA Finals. As great as Jalen Brunson is, and as fun as he is to watch, I just don't see it happening. I'll go Pacers in. I'll go Pacers in 7, just because I feel like it'd be that much more gut wrenching for the Knicks to get that close and lose. That'd be the most Knicks thing ever. On top,
Yeah.
either having a horrible season or just going out that way. It's one or the other. Getting that close or just being so far away you don't even care. That's the most Knicks thing ever. I'll go Pacers in 7.
I'll do Pacers in 6.
Okay, all right, there you go. All right. Lastly, we can talk a little WNBA. The only bit I watched of the WNBA this season was the beginning of the Fever Chicago Sky game Saturday afternoon. This was all before I turned the Razorback game on. I was in Lone Oak, so as I was trying to figure out how to stream that game, I did catch a little bit of the Fever Sky game, and Fever just absolutely throttled
They
them, beat
look
them by
they look
35.
good. Uh,
Yeah. Um, Indiana's clearly gotten better, and you could see that throughout the year or throughout the offseason, the pieces they were adding. They've clearly gotten better. Chicago has either gotten worse or the same. My coworker made a comment a couple of days ago, which I thought was pretty spot on. He said, "How is it talking about Angel Reese? How is it she's gotten worse?" it's
I watched a little bit of it. The only like 10 seconds I seen was a pass, to the basket, to Reese, and she shot it up, missed, rebounded, shot it up, missed, rebounded, then shot it up and made it. It's like, cool.
so it's very Angel Reese. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what we're accustomed to at this point.
Yes.
Here's how I've broken it down. Um, Caitlin Clark just wants to play basketball, and that's why people love her. That girl just goes out and just balls all day. You can tell. She just give her a ball, and that's what she wants to do. She just wants to go play hoops. Angel Reese wants to be a star. Angel Reese is more interested in being a star than a basketball player. And you can see that. Her shot is still trash. Her game hasn't improved at all. She has no handle. Her IQ on the floor isn't great, and it's just I think she's gotten worse. Now she has a role out there as a player, um, rebounding and bringing a certain type of energy, but it hasn't translated to success in the WNBA. Uh, Caitlin Clark's game has, and just that's the difference. Caitlin Clark wants to play ball. Angel Reese wants to be a star. That's the difference, and you're seeing the result of that, especially like right away. We haven't had to wait very long, but I see great things for the Fever and Caitlin Clark. Um, we'll see with Angel Reese in the sky. But until then, we're out of time, so we'll have to see y'all again next week. We'll be back with all basketball talk and more. But until then, I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.